we Mark? She's gonna probably be doing previous page before the introduction.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being with us today. I know sometimes it's a little tough for a weekday, but we have three wonderful players to play from Miss Chee-Yun. And we thank the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society for providing you to us while you're here in town to perform for the society. This is a gift that the Chamber Music Society does for the youth and collegiate programs in the city, and it means so much that our students can have contact with artists such as you. So we thank you for being with us, and we thank Chelsea from the Chamber Music Society. Our first player today in today's master class is Annabelle Wei. Annabelle is a student of J Freivogel of the Jasper Quartet, and she will be performing the first movement of the Lalo Symphony Espagnole. She's accompanied by Juliette Kang.
and this movement really requires that. I love seeing like you're out of breath. That's a good sign. Okay. So when we are playing in front of our colleagues and peers, it's the most nerve-wracking. And I've been there, so I really feel for you, and you did a great job. So but another thing is that as a performing artist, sometimes we have to pretend when we're on stage that even though we are nervous inside, we should make them feel they could trust us and they could enjoy us. So we have to be good actresses and actors, right? So, and you are doing a great job. Your finishes are fabulous, and before you start, you give us a real sort of that rhythmic like sense. I love that. But maybe we could even do more of that. Okay. For example, even when you're playing softer spots, for example, sometimes I notice that when you're really going from the frog of the it sounds great, but when you're not using so much bow, just at the tip or middle, even if you go more towards the frog, you don't have to force as much, and you will get a little more definition. Besides it's a concerto, and Lalo has probably one of the biggest orchestrations. There are everybody, the all brass section, timpani, harp is there, strings, it's a huge orchestra. So you really have to really pronounce every note, enunciate every note, even when it's piano, and when you have fast notes. So from the beginning, the big scale of, yeah. So trick is to, so the higher position is what gets us very nervous, right? Insecure about. But you have to remember that, you practice and you practice rhythm, right? Reverse rhythm, all that good stuff. So once you're on stage, you say, I'm gonna go for it. And to the end. So think of it as like making a cushion. Right now, you're getting on like roll that. Sorry. Like that, I get out. Like the last 5 notes, even more so. So, and this is written for Pablo de Sarasate. I mean, he was just like revered as one of the greatest violinists of his time. And everybody was trying to please him, please play my concerto. And Lalo was a quite young composer at the time. But he was able to have his concerto premiered and write for this greatest violinist. So, in Lalo's mind, I have to make him shine. I have to make him like the most proud and the most incredible violinist that he is. Every single note has to really speak out, even when it's smaller, faster notes. You've got it. You just have to trust yourself and just be more stubborn about it. Okay? And one thing that your bow finish are great, and you're almost like it's great. You're a long arm and your bow, but I just feel like maybe the violin from where I'm sitting, and it goes a little bit down. Yeah. So I'm sure you probably heard this from your teacher. So especially, think of it this way: when you go to opera house, right? Have you seen operas? Singers.
I watch on TV.
On TV. There you go. Do you ever see singers singing like this? Unless they have to sing down to somebody or like that, right? I mean, to be able to project, you have to really stand and just shoulders open, breathing, and that makes you breathe better too. If instead of, that like it will make me more nervous. Think of it as like, okay, I gotta act like as if I've got this, no problem. Even though I'm like, my heart is beating so fast, but you say, no problem, I got it, because you're such a good actress. So from the stance, you have to kind of show that. And don't ever rush through. I'd rather have you play a little bit slower. And it says allegro non-troppo. You know what non-troppo means? Yes, not too much allegro. Allegro is fast, not too much. And from the first get-go, I mean, he gives this very strong rhythmic dum bum bee and all by yourself. So you could have that keep going with that. Even da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-dum. Like, think of those last, especially last 8 of the fast notes. Like, really scream them out. Like, if I have passage works like that, I always say, okay, I'm not going to let go of any of the notes. I'm going to play every single note, and I know I can. You watch me. That's the attitude. And that was Mr. Sarasate. So you have to embody his character as you play. Okay? So let's do it. Like, okay, you're Mr. Sarasate, the greatest violinist of his time, and now you're going to show everybody how it's done. Period. Okay? All right. And violin up. From the beginning, yeah? Violin up! Yes! Violin up! You're up, violin! Yes. So in the very beginning, if the orchestra, that's what they're playing, and you're responding to that. So you have to go, no, let me give you better key than that. It's just like, don't go down, if anything. When you are doing even the G string, when you're doing that, the sound, did you guys all hear that? Like the sound just completely opened up. It was phenomenal. And you look great too. I mean, you looked so confident. You're very pretty. I mean, you have no problem with that. But what I'm saying, like, you look proud. This is a very proud character that you have to really, Mr. Sarasate, greatest violinist. Okay? You got this. All right? Okay. So can you do from the beginning, bum, bum, beat, really give that, and you got to answer to that. Here we go. Violin up. Every note you got to go. Good, Annabelle. Here. Even when you are holding, the note never really dies. Every eyes on you, especially that woman. Everybody else is playing. So anything that you do, it gets very exaggerated on stage. Remember that. The minute we walk on stage, that's when we start acting, embodying the character this concerto is written for. What kind of message you're giving out, okay? So even like your opening was great. I will probably, wait even longer after. Even from the beginning. You would stop vibrating. No. And then. More. 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, yum, bum. Until the orchestra comes in, until the pianist comes in, you hold that long. Okay? Really exaggerate everything. Okay? Can you do one more time? This beginning is epic. And you gotta really be epic with this. Okay? You got it. Listen to that. It's intense. Now. Wait. Yes. Every note. Light it up until the end. That's good. Okay, now the next scale. It's from the get-go, fortissimo, and he doesn't write any diminuendo. And as the scale goes up, it's going to intensify. Think of it as you're going towards that last one. You've been working so hard on this scale, and you're going to show everybody that you can play every single note of it, and very clearly, okay? All right? Even stronger, like big heart, more nurturing, and more singing, more beautiful. Okay, so can we do from, yeah. So now Mr. Sarasate. I love the rhythm, and don't be apologetic about it. Every single note matters, okay? And all the eyes are on you. And then when you go to Mrs. Sarasate, really give us that loving. Okay, once more. Ba-yum, bum, bing. Those notes will transport you to another register, 2 octaves up. I mean, you gotta like show for it to be really beautiful and stunning. You really have to show the process, and don't be afraid to show that process. Okay. Once more from Mrs. Arson. And you could easily be drawn on. And you know, and also all of them. You know? Let's go to the next section. And what do you want to do? Who's it? Oh, your teacher, I agree with. And totally strong. And your don't be solo. It's good. Solo G string. Now the violin has to be up, right? Chest open. Be proud. Okay? Maybe a couple bars before her entrance, please. Cellists always have like really fat fingers, their fingertips, and they play with this beautiful vibrato. And I try to like mimic that on the G string too. You know, slow down the wider vibrato, and then when it's dolce, and then a little less pressure, but more vocal. Now. Because she has so much love for him, he's been even stronger than really he is. You know that, right? Women are usually, Mom is a lot stronger than your dad. Sorry, Dad. But, you know, so you have to have more heart. So I'm going to draw a big heart in that section for you, okay? And play with them so much love. Can you exaggerate that more? Can you do from there and go to the front? So you know this place, you know what he wrote right there? He gives so many ideas. You gotta go back to the music. Sometimes, we memorize and you're like, we don't look at the music anymore. You go back, you'll find so much more information. And he writes con fuoco. What does that mean? We see that a lot in our music. Con fuoco, fire, with fire. And guess what? Like, the distance between, that's epic, again, right? From G string to the E string. And the next one, even more. That, you gotta go for it again. I'm sorry, that was a bad intonation for me, but you get it, right? And then bing, bum, bum. Even when it's piano, think of it as this way. Light bulbs. And then, when we see the lamps that had lamp shades, right? Those were really a thing in my days. Now you have fancy lighting, but so light bulb has to be so strong. It's the lamp shade that colors, so it could make it more subdued. It's a little bit subdued, but light bulb is so strong underneath, okay? So articulation, left-hand articulation. And also, you have to judge by sound, wherever you're performing this piece. So if it's a smaller space like this, then you know how to control your sound, right? Always know where you are, be aware of it, figure out the room. If you're playing at a bigger hall, then you need to play a little bit more, exaggerate. Even if the piano has to have a little more body to it, that light bulb has to be really strong. But if it's a smaller space with a lot of reverberance, then you do it a little bit less. Always, listen for that sound. Sound is everything for us, right? And you have a very good judge of sound, I could tell. And just go with that. Okay. All right. Well, anything else? Do we have?
We're pretty much close to time.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. So, every single note, the 16th, really, you got this, but you got to really go for it. Okay? And then when it's piano, Mrs. starts up a section, every note, I say continuously bar, every single note. That's important. Thank you.
Our next performer today is Elliot Alexander, and Elliot is a student of Juliette Kang, who you're friends with and have a relationship with, so that's very nice, so that'll make a nice connection. Elliot is playing the Bruch Scottish Fantasy, and he is accompanied by Ramsey Reyes. Elliot?
Oh, you played these just the first movement. Okay, great, wonderful. I heard that you're playing some introduction and rondo capriccio or performing it soon. Wow, and you're learning this on top of that? It's very ambitious of you. Very good, wonderful. I love it. You know, Scottish men, Max Bruch loved Scottish songs and poems, and he was apparently like obsessed with it. So, you know, there's, again, like I love it, like when it comes from, you know, these compositions or these concertos written from the place of love. And I think I feel it even more, like from the very beginning, you know, when you hear the orchestra, the trombones, it's really the brass section and you play. It's almost haunting, because brass, you know, it's like such a big instrument. Usually you hear very loud, but they have to play almost somber and very soft. But then that sort of gives that sort of airiness of it. So when you're coming off of that, even though it is written piano, I would think of it as between mezzo piano and mezzo forte. And don't be afraid to really be with that. You know, don't think that, oh, I'm supposed to play this piano, but just a little bit healthy. Think of it as healthier piano, okay? So very beginning. So and I love how you were, you know, as if it's just coming off the clouds. You know, in Scotland gets very. You've seen movies of Scotland, or have you been there? You've been there. Well, you know, it's like half the time it's dreary. The weather is not. So it's like cloudy, so much cloud and moisture in the air. But then the smell of the countryside, you know, the woods and trees and all that. So really, like. I love the fact that you are starting with very little vibrato, but start to really regain the vibrato and widen it, if anything. Do you do down like and breathe, even from the very beginning? So, sorry, that's like a little bit like mental piano. And breathing is very important. So when you're starting the note, do you usually breathe out as you're playing it, or you start to breathe out before you draw the sound? You know, something, it's because the beginning of this piece is so tricky, you know what I mean? And as you can imagine, like, you're so nervous, like the beginning of the concerto, and it's like, not a, you know, and Lalo is difficult, but it's like another sense, you know? At least you can really dig into it, but this one, it's like, oh God, it's like, oh, I hope that my bow doesn't shake. That's why I want you to think that it's a little bigger dynamic. Start to really healthy mezzo piano. Oh, and the vibrato D, so B flat, that was great. And then I love it. And you stop vibrating there. So that kind of stuck out as like a sort of almost. See, think of it. If you could imagine, like the vibrato also has crescendo into it. You know, the crescendo with the vibrato as well as the bow pressure. All of it together. More the better. All your tools out. More sound. Vibrato. Yes. Vibrato espressivo. until the piano comes in or until the orchestra comes in, you stay. Besides, he wrote a fermata on it. Oh, fun fact. Did you know that in Italy, bus stops are called fermata? And you know what? Do you know how often the buses get there? Take a guess. No, it's fermata. You wait forever. I was like, I thought that was hilarious because I'm like, fermata is, you just kind of wait. You don't know what's gonna. You know something's happening, but in Italy, yeah, you have to wait a very long time before the bus comes. So fermata, you don't know when the orchestra is gonna come in. Until then, you hold. Okay. One more thing. So I think it's getting there. So funny enough, I think a lot of composers are so incredibly smart. He almost anticipated that. Espressivo. I'm gonna have to remind the artist. With a hairpin. Violinists might do that. So I'm gonna instruct them. Be espressivo with heart. And from A string to D string to the G string, we're getting somber. The depth expands. And really enjoy going to the deeper strings too. So espressivo, now D string. Don't die away too soon because you still have. Sorry, that's you. Still until it comes, okay? And then if you happen to forget, sometimes I do the same. I use so much of this part of the bow at the tip, a lot of times. And then I forgot the rosette. I'm like, oh, I'm losing the sound. Tilt the bow a little bit. Then you get the sound back. Okay, a little trick. Don't tell anybody. All right. Okay, so from the beginning once more. That was beautiful. Don't forget vibrato, coloring, all your tools, everything. Impress us from the beginning. Healthy piano. Beautiful. Espressivo. Darker strings. Supposedly, pianists, on the G string, right? So, or you're going to E string. Okay, especially E string. If you're gonna go to E string, be careful not to do too much too soon. So, dum, bim, ba-dum. And then he says forte appassionato. There you gotta really show it. So here, preview of it, but don't give it away yet. And especially if you're playing on the E string, still imagine that you're maybe playing on an A string. Sort of color it differently, okay? That beginning, by the way, was so beautiful. I almost cried. It was really beautiful. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so how about from Team but crescendo through. So Once more. Yeah, I'll do it. And now, okay, from the beginning. So, can you give it a little color? You know, I know it's not written, but I don't know. That seems forte espressivo to me. Forte appassionato. What does that mean? Because you're gonna have forte espressivo later on. There are different kinds of fortes. Okay, so let me know which one you're doing. Okay, but clearer. Like we don't know. We don't have the music. You gotta be like exaggerating it. Okay, that was beautiful. Can you do once more and then crescendo through? Just play that scale a little bit slowly by yourself. Okay, so note where you're shifting. Where? A string. Which note though? Yeah. Remember that, and then the next shift. E flat again. Yeah. So E flat, first finger shifting, like put a note in there. So when you're practicing it, like because right there you get kind of, it's the, that's the kind of the shifting, you get kind of fumbled a little bit. So when you're practicing it, I will probably slow down and accent it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then making sure that your bow doesn't go in front of it. Is it down bow or up bow? Down bow, yeah. So make sure that you like slow down. The right hand waits for the left hand to fit in all the scales to it, and to make sure that you do the rhythm practice and everything. Because you got, I know you have it. It's just that you go, oh shoot, there are a lot of notes I have to fit in, and then you start to panic. But you're like, no, I got this. It's the D to E flat, D to E flat. So E flat on the first finger, mental note. Okay. So I love G. Hopeful, right? I wouldn't go too big. Because the next, you have to give there. So, that. And then, there, appassionato. Again, he says forte appassionato there. He kind of anticipated, oh, he might just enjoy, Elliot might do this on the E string, and when he goes to the E string, he might get too excited too soon. So, again, hopeful. Now I show you, and then G string. Every single note in the same. Okay? How about slow down a little bit. And yeah, you got it. So once more. Okay, so starting again. Make sure that you have that. Is that one finger? Second finger. Yeah, make sure that's low enough. Okay, once more. Preparation is everything. So we don't want to be too squeaky because it doesn't sound nice. You still want to have that expansiveness in your every string of the sound. It's Scotch, Scotland. Everything is spacious, big, nature, open. So this place reminds me of if I were an eagle flying, just vast of nature. Just think of it. He does it again. He puts sforzando this time. So anytime that repeats, like sforzando or accents repeat, I always think of it as, every time more and more. He didn't put a crescendo to it, but make sure that you really bring those out a little bit more. Can we give it another try? A little sweeter in that sound. Hopeful and sweet. chords just yet, right? Okay, so the next section. We gotta work on that, maybe the chords that we have. Once more, from there, maybe a couple bars before. What did he write? Espressivo. Vibrato. Again, really enjoy playing on that large string of the violin. Once more. When the orchestra comes in, that chord, can you play that letter? That chord, right? You gotta kind of da-da-dee-dum, dee, no, dee-da-dee-dum, maybe espressivo, like, just so, it's like fantasy. Again, like this is more fantastical or something. Is that a word? I love it. You gotta use more bow on your chords. You were getting a little bit too conservative before. Again, this is espressivo. He didn't write piano. It's healthy. It's a big, like Lalo, it's also big orchestration. So make sure that you really give full body sound. Okay. Let's go on. Or do we have?
We have about 9 or 7 minutes.
Okay. Go ahead. Crescendo. And then, the next entrance is the one that has the forte from the get-go. This one doesn't. So if you do down bow, that's fine, but can you sing it? Really singing beautiful G and then to A and then to C. So maybe da-dum-dee-dum again. Sound. Now crescendo. And now, go ahead. Forte. like out of that beautiful A flat tone you just played, C has to be product of that. C was born because of that soaring A flat. So don't be weak with it, especially with the vibrato, okay? And he wrote, again, like he kind of knew that we're gonna take a break. He put espressivo right there. Again, reminding you, okay? So much love. You wanna do that much closer? That was beautiful. I love your vibrato. More vibrato. Really sing it every note. How about from, and then really go for it. We have 3 minutes. Yeah. Every time to work out on the shifting, all that. But once you're in performance, really give a heavy acknowledgement to the lower note. You know that, right? And then when you're done going to that, especially that one, if you go to the E string more, chances are, I mean, you could, yeah, of course you could. It would be great if you could play into every note. In case it's not quite there, when you bring out the A string one, better lower note, it won't be so much obvious. And then a little break. Instead of dragging it, you know, so that you have time to shift. And I really love it when if you vibrato. If you do that, it sounds flat. You know, we have this amazing thing called vibrato. We gotta use it all the time. Pianists don't have that. Right? So you gotta show it off. Okay? So let's do it and then we'll end this. Bottom note off the octaves. Every note with more vibrato. Vibrato, yeah. Okay. So when you come, try that. Like, I mean, you don't have to do it today, but I mean, not now, but when you go home, just kind of experiment with it. Right? But you almost have it. Can we do, and then from there, and then to the end, and we'll. So one more thing, so when you're trilling, make sure that don't force your bow. It's like almost like a wide accent. And make sure that your articulation is good. Rather whatever you need to shift, instead of right now your bow is getting there before. Are you stretching it? Is it 3 and then what? Fingering. 3, 1, 3, like that?
I think the top is 3, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I do 2, and then kind of I anticipate to stretch the. Make sure that and don't force the sound out. Just slowly and also slower vibrato too, and then also kind of turn your bow so that it sustains the sound. All right, good.
The students here always know that at least I make one big mistake in every master class or recital, and I said Elliot's name is Alexander and his last name is Anderson. So I need a teleprompter someday. But it was my one mistake for today. As I tell them, I'm just a dumb brass player, so I am entitled to at least that one big mistake. And Elliot, I'm so sorry, because the last thing I hate to do is mess up a student's name. So our final performer today is Mio Imai. Mio is going to play the Allegro con fuoco, Allegro moderato alla zingara. That's a long name, isn't it? For the third movement of the Wieniawski second violin concerto. She is a student of Kimberly Fisher, and she'll be accompanied by Juliette Kang as well.
I don't have the Allegro con fuoco part.
Oh, no, I'm not
Using it? Can I use it?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
I printed out
worries.
the
Don't
wrong
worry about it. No, you didn't. You just, got the Allegro Zingara.
So to
Yeah.
turn the page 2 fingers.
Yeah. 2 fingers?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. mean, I've got nothing to say really. You played much better than I could have ever played. Wow, that was amazing. And your staccato, goodness gracious, girl. And the tempo, that was amazing. I love it. I really have nothing to say. Really. The only thing would be like, you know, when in the beginning of Allegro Moderato, you know, in the Zingara, the gypsy section, maybe because he wrote it in piano, you know, maybe a little lighter, because a lot of virtuosity is coming. But obviously, I mean, honestly, that's so minor. I'm not even gonna try to like play it, but maybe even that could be a little lighter, a little too intense for me. You know, so it's certain things you could lighten up so that you know, like Vinyasa was such a virtuoso, and everything was so easy for him, almost like, you know, people like looking at him will be like, how did he do that? It's a genius, like Paganini was. Like everything seems so easy to me. So if he wrote it in kind of like, you know, I love it, sparkle, kind of elegant, like lighter kind of feeling, because the introduction was so intense, right? So you know, kind of tossing off, kind of like, oh, this is nothing, you know. You just wait what's coming up next. So it's kind of like maybe a little bit less, you know, but I mean, that's it, really. Even that too, because it says poco più tranquillo, so a little bit subdued, so that when you come out, you know, when you're doing all the octaves and crescendos and everything, could be even more effective.
Okay.
So that sweetness, that vulnerability side, you know, don't try, like, doesn't have to be vibrato, doesn't have to be, you know, so fast. Maybe a little bit slower.
Okay.
Something to experiment with, so that you are showing even more multifaceted side to you.
Okay.
But I mean, it's incredible. I have to say that Sala Staccato is just, what? I looked at your mom like, did she let you do that? What? Tempo? Amazing. I love it. I don't know, I'm so sorry.
You can
I
have
have
her
nothing
try.
to say. You want to play once more? I mean, do you want to play another movement? I mean, I don't know. When are you playing it?
I'm using this and the second movement for a competition next week.
Oh
in
my
Michigan.
God. Wow. I mean, I would love to hear the second movement too. We have time to play both movement again if you want, and just kind of go into it. Would you like to? Is that okay?
I think no, I don't, but I try.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. The beginning, what's the dynamic in the very beginning? And the theme. I don't have the, I can't open that music now. Yeah, piano. And you know, because it repeats again, you know, a few bars later, maybe that could be a little more transparent sound, maybe, and also the vibrato, not so same speed, but because, and also the accompaniment is a lot simpler. And then when it repeats at bar 60, and you come out a little bit more, and then the orchestra, they start to have more movement. You know what I mean? So when so that there is a real kind of the color difference, if you could show more of that. And the speed of the vibrato. I think you could, in this movement, the speed of the vibrato, vary it as much as you can, so that you express more vulnerability on in the very beginning, more pure, you know, as then when it repeats, and then you could come back, kind of have a different sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the beginning, like, you know, sometimes if you give it all the time, the receiver, we don't know how lucky we are to receive it. You're spoiling them too much. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in the third movement, when I say that too, there are plenty of moments, it's gonna come. When you're giving it like so much intensity, so when you kind of dial it down a little bit, then it's that difference. You're
Okay.
Then people say, oh wow, that it's different sides, it's more exciting. So in the beginning, so the maybe slower vibrato, instead of, you know, maybe the variation in the vibrato, but otherwise your slides are beautiful and your octaves are clean and like, oh, so good. It's just really beautiful. And the last bit is beautiful too. If the only thing, when you're changing the bow, be discreet as possible when you're holding the note. You know, sometimes maybe your vibrato speed could be different, like and then they, you know. From there, so that maybe the second bar of the B flat, that long held note, maybe vibrato could loosen up or something, slower.
Okay.
And then also high the bow change. And the same thing goes at the high octave. You know, it's like first bar of B flat, high B flat was lifted sounding, then settling down sounding. Think of it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's it, folks. We're done.
It's okay. You say we're done, then we're
Yeah.
done.
Can I try the opening one time?
Absolutely, yes. And maybe padding, again, like the flat, you know, the more fleshy side of your fingers, you know, flatter. And that sometimes gives a different color. It might be very slight, but it could be a lot.
Okay.
That was great. I loved it. I loved it. It was like inner voice. It's like, you know, you don't have to give it out too much. You just kind of hold back. And then, right here. Be more patient with their right hand. Right now. Don't try to draw sound from the right hand, more lead from the left hand.
Okay.
With that. So it's like, you know, I think your sentiment is there, but maybe with your bow speed, holding the bow speed at the change of the octave higher G flat, just be a little bit slow to change. Try once more. And then flatter the finger better. Slower change is, it's a lot to me. I don't know. How did you feel?
I really like it. It makes a contrast between the two phrases.
Yeah. And when it comes back, you're like, oh, I know that melody, and now I'm a little bit more confident with it. It's like the first part, when you first start, it's like maybe a little shy. You know, not vulnerable enough yet. You know, you don't want to give all yet. Okay? Don't spoil them yet. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Good. Anything else? You would like to play through, but okay. How about let's start the confiocco movement once more. So you know the first one, da di da di da di da di da di da, and then the second one, da, and a little bit more.
Okay.
So the first one is it's there, it's confiocco, yeah, fire, but second one even more fire because he actually writes, you know, crescendo to it. He just gives it kind of like a hairpin going up for the first short run, right?
Yeah.
And then when he repeats, and then you know, and then when you start a little more bow and then slower first bar,
Okay.
and then a little quicker second bar, and then third bar, and then take off. Try that. shift a lot quicker on the left and then hold
Okay.
the speed on the right hand for the, so that you never miss it. And same thing for the higher E, what was it? The other harmonic. Yeah, the E string. Yeah, that one. So you gotta shift. Right now, you're almost leading with the right hand. So left hand, you know what I mean? Now, rather than, okay, yeah, you have a better chance of catching that. I mean, so that she could be 10 out of 10. You know, it's like, it's fire. It's really good. Or something. Yeah. Oh, let's try that. So. Okay, so make sure, is it down to upper?
Yes.
So then almost try, and where your finger is, kind of like watch, you know. Like for me, I kind of gauge the distance between the finger for the black part, you know, like and where my finger is. That's where it is. Okay, so I gotta go for it. So use your eyes. So be there. And also flatter the finger, like almost the weight, instead of doing this, the weight, if it's on the other string, you have a better chance of harmonic. Okay. It's like anchoring it. Yeah. There you go. You have it. Use your eyes. Yeah. Joyous. And so lift the pressure off the string a little bit. So there's a difference between getting a bit too aggressive and joyous. Confident but joyous. I want to hear that. So, a little bit lighter. I mean, this whole movement is a little bit, it's happy. Right? Like happy. So it's not so much like that. Drive. Drive happened already. And drive will happen. You will show that. But you also have that playful side. Joyous and confident, but not too aggressive. Just tone it, just dial it down, just teeny weeny. And then you'll be just forward. And then your sound will ring more too. Okay. Because of that forcing, let the sound breathe. Generous. Be generous with your sound production. Okay. Share it with everybody. Okay? Once more from that anchors it, then the top note will be easier to play with.
Okay.
So don't think of so instead of G to D, think of it B to B. Really think about that shift. Once more, so. That shift. Yes! And then again, B to G now. The third, the A string shifting, the bottom note. Get that more like, concentrate on that one.
Okay.
And then you will not miss that. Okay? Yes! Are you doing and then 2-3 to 2-4?
Yes.
Ah. When is your competition?
Next week.
I mean, you don't have to do it, but 2-3 to 1-3, and then again 1-3. So just do it with me. Yeah, just try that a couple times. Yeah, I think that might be easier.
Okay.
3 to 4 is really tricky for violinists. So, I mean, you're so fire. I think you could probably learn that new fingering. Just
Yeah,
1-3.
I'll practice it.
Yeah, 1-3. Already it feels better, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you do 3-3 to 3 again. And then see, it's both half step. So exactly same distance too. Yeah, you don't have to change it. The distance between first and the third finger is exactly the same. You just go half step, down. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck. You sound amazing.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you, Chee-Yun, for being with us today and for working with our
Oh, it
students.
was my pleasure.
And a special thanks to them,
Yeah.
because they did all the playing.
Yes.
And to our collaborative pianists who have
Yes,
to,
Julie, and like
have to-
sight reading was amazing.
they have to reduce the orchestra down to two
I know.
hands. And to the parents and especially the teachers also for prepping these
Yes.
kids.
Bravo.
They're why I come to work every week. So,
Oh, you have an incredible thing going. So congratulations,
thank you all,
everybody.
and
Thank you.
have a great rest of the day.
Yes. And thank you for printing this out. I'm so sorry.
Sure. Sorry.
No, it's